If it's important to you, it's important to me because you are important to me. That is a basic premise that we've talked about. This is Scott Conway, of course, PhD, GAD, with mothersraisingsons.com, with the comic books as the backdrop in honor of the San Diego Comic Convention. But this lesson, we're not going to really talk a whole lot about the comic convention in this one. We did talk last time about it's important to you, it's important to me because you are important to me. I love you. And if it's important to you, it's important to me because you are important to me. We talked about it with the girlfriend. We talked about it with football. We talked about it with the comic convention. This idea of making what's important to your kid, particularly your teen kid who much more naturally might pull away from a parent relationship. Your son might very naturally pull away from mom because one of the things going around is don't want to look like the mama's boy, and I find unfortunate how a lot of that shows up, but it is a reality, and so it's something that we cope with and deal with, whether we like it or not, whether we think it makes sense or not. It is just a reality that is, and so we work with what is instead of just deal with what we wish was. In this particular case, what's important to you is important to me because you are important to me. We talked about that last time. But there's a corollary that goes the other way. That if it's important to me, it should be important to you because I'm important to you. And it's the flip side of the same thing. Now, in the not too distant past, fairly recently, I had a chance to be teaching the kid level, the flip side of this. And so I'm teaching the children of the parents this concept of, if it's important to you, it's important to them because you're important to them. And some of the examples I gave is, have you ever had a parent come see you in a school play? So it's like when you were in elementary school, did your parents ever come see you do something in elementary school? Did your kids or your parents ever come watch you play a Little League game? Did your kids ever come watch you play a soccer game? And of course, everyone's raising, well, yeah, of course, duh. Almost like it's obvious. So why do you suppose they did that? Do your parents sit around going, we really need to find a Little League game somewhere to go watch because I want to go watch Little League. I want to go watch, elementary school soccer. I really want to go see a middle school play. I really want to go watch a high school orchestra somewhere. So they don't do that. Why were they at yours? Because it was you. Because you are important to them. Now, the reason I had the conversation this way with the kids is because, in this case, I was teaching the children, I wasn't teaching the parents. When I teach the parents, I coach them on how to do this. In this case, I'm talking to the kids, so I want to use very concrete examples I could have confidence that every kid has experienced. Some family member, some family friend, some aunt, uncle, parent of the friend, coming to see them in something connected to school, something connected to athletics, and that even if they had never really done anything for that to happen, they understood the concept and they knew that someone would show up for them if there were any way for that to happen. So the corollary I flipped for them, and this is an important thing to talk to your kids about too, is because the adults live out. If it's important to you, it's important to me because you are important to me. I love you. And that's why I do these things. The flip side of that is, I know you love me. Now, don't ask your kids if they love you. Just imagine it's true. Because it really is. Sometimes they might not really be able to say it, and sometimes boys go through this phase where they think it's not cool to tell mom I love you, but, they do love you, whether they'll say the words or not. And so, I know you love me. This is something that's really important to me, and I'm hoping that because I'm important to you, you'll make this important enough to you to be willing to come do this with me. Now, this can be as simple a thing as maybe it's a family event. Maybe it's a social event where the parents are coming with their kids, where from time to time you fold the children into pieces of your life. Now, if you have things going on where, this would be a normal thing that would happen and that normally the kids would come, but your kid might not normally want to come. That's when you have this conversation. And it is that much more powerful if your child is seeing how you live your life with them. If they understand this premise of honey, I love you. If something is important to you, it's important to me because it's important to you. You see me do that. You see me show up at your Little League games. You see me show up at your soccer games. You see me come to bring you to your karate classes. You see me sit there and watch your competitions because, it's you. And I love you, and it's important to you. And that's why I'm there. You don't see me going around looking for kid karate classes to watch. You don't see me going around looking for high school orchestras to go listen to concerts on. I'm doing this because it's you. Well, I have this thing going on, and it's important to me. And because I know you understand this, because you see me do it for you, this is something I would like you to do for me. And it's putting your child in this position where someone's that they're the giver, they get to give. And when someone gives to you, it helps connect. And so you have, of course, the if it's important to you, it's important to me because you're important to me. But every once in a while, look for a way to flip it around. And be judicious about when you do this because you want to make sure your child perceives that they're being given to because you're the parent more than they're being expected from for the parent, because there's a lot of stuff we try to get the kids to do that really is only in their own interests. But there's a struggle enough as it is. So be judicious in how you do this, but in every once in a while, because they see you model it, and hopefully, you've got the vocabulary from me, so you know to describe it exactly the way I'm saying, is saying, I know that you love me. I know I'm important to you. This is important to me. And so I'm asking you to make it important enough to you for you to come with me, to do this with me, just like I do stuff for you. Will you do this for me? And because of the law of reciprocity, because of the fact they really do love you, as I said, whether they say the words or not, or they're comfortable with the words, every once in a while they might be willing to take this up and turn that around and be able to do that with you and for you because they really do love you. And sometimes it's interesting the way these things can show up. And you might be surprised at the level of connection you can build when sometimes your child gets to be the giver to you on something that is important to you. This is Scott Conway with mothersrasingsons.com.